House leadership's like, look, this is not something that we're going to do. It's not our fault either. I mean, blame the Democrats who refuse to, at all whatsoever, have any kind of serious discussion about what's going on at the border. Meanwhile, you have all these Democrat mayors who have been saying, stop sending us people, etc. Not going to happen. Not going to, because everybody needs to pay their fair share. All right, so I mean, why is that considered an unreasonable position for Democrats? We have to take care of our southern border before we consider sending money elsewhere. It is not our problem. These other situations that are going on right now that have nothing to do with our immediate interests seems like, with everything that we have seen, all of the fentanyl, what, 12,000 a day was the peak just. Was that last week or was that Monday? No, it was last week. It was like Thursday, Friday of last week. That's a big deal. A very big deal. That's like entire towns that are coming across. And people aren't being sent back. Crime is increasing in these border towns. It's a huge issue. And so for the president and Democrats to not come to the table on this, that's inexcusable. Hold the line. Republicans need to hold the line on this because God knows they can't hold the line on anything else right now. Yeah, we had that fun conversation yesterday. So you have Zelensky. You know how difficult it is to come over to the United States with everything that we're dealing with right now? It just seems, I get it that they're dealing with their situation in Ukraine. But we have our situation here in the United States. I mean, it's an invasion at the southern border. We have crime spiraling out of control in Democrat-run cities. We have raging inflation. People are broke. People can't buy houses. They feel discontent. They feel like they can't trust the system. And you got this guy over here with his hands out after we've given him hundreds of billions of dollars, and he still wants more. I was listening to Schumer speak this morning, and he was saying that, well, if they can't get this money, then they're, immediately going to have. That's not my problem. Go to France. Yeah, play this audio soundbite 19. Yes, this is this just angers me when they put it in this perspective. Check it.
Zelensky made it so clear how he needs help, but if he gets the help, he can win this war. And he outlined in some great detail, the kind of help he needs and how it will help him win. Even many of our Republican colleagues talked about we are winning this war. And if we get the help if he gets the help he needs, he will win. On the other hand, he made it clear, and we all made it clear, that if we lose, Putin wins. And this will be very, very dangerous for the United States. So we cannot let Putin influence through any surrogate what we need to do for Ukraine.
The calls for ceasefire, they need to call for a ceasefire in Ukraine. That's where the ceasefire needs to be called. It needs to be called there. I mean, this is a... how much was the supplemental? 110. I'm looking at my notes. $110 billion, national security, blah, blah, blah. 61 billion of that is for Ukraine. Now, forgive me. I swear to you, Kane, correct me if I'm wrong on this. You and Steve, I swear to you, we literally had that exact same soundbite. It wasn't, I don't think it was from Schumer, though. I think it was from McConnell over the summer when, again, you had Zelensky coming, hat outstretched, and he was saying, well, if they get this aid, they can win the war. How many times have you heard that? If we don't even know where the last bit of aid went to. We do know, after a little bit of snooping around by the IG, we do know that there was some money that went to go towards pensions and for this and that and this and that. And at the same time, the guy's shutting down churches and newspapers, in the name of freedom. They're so bent on fighting for freedom. They got to, close down this other stuff. But we've heard this over and over again. Well, they'll win the war if we can just get this much. Yeah, I feel like we've heard that so many times before. So many times. We need the ceasefire over there, though. 61 billion. We've given over 100 billion. My question is this. What is the $61 billion going to do that the 100 plus billion that we have given them already hasn't? many takers. What's that going to do? $61 additional billion. The pittance that is given to the border is shameful. It's shameful. And I disregard all of these arguments from these people who say, well, if we're not giving aid, Putin wins. If we're not doing this, Putin wins. These are just stupid, empty, meaningless platitudes. That's not insight. It's propaganda. It's not opinion. It's propaganda. And that's exactly what this is. It's a war of attrition. And what is the end of the war? What does the end of this look like? When they say, well, Ukraine can win this war, what does that look like? What does that look like? Do you honestly think that Putin's going to head back to Moscow if Ukraine, and can they define what victory is? If there is some sort of victory? And then ignoring the tensions that predated their entry into this, Russia's entry into this in the Donbas region. I mean, what gets me is that the people who ignore the existing tensions in the Donbas region, that's such a colonizer attitude. Since that's a hot new word right now, I'm going to appropriate it from the left. That is the neo-colonizer attitude. And I'm actually correctly using that term, neocon. And neocon is like Lindsey Graham, someone who thinks that there is not a problem that the U.S. military and lots of firepower can't solve. I mean, yes, but also no. It just, you can have territory. What was there's this piece pulled up. I was reading whether or not you have the sovereignty of the territory or independence of the area. I mean, there is a lot of history that is in that area that cannot be summed up in a 30-second soundbite. There's a lot of history regarding Ukraine's borders, that area, the Donbas region, the disputed territory particularly. There's a lot of history there that a lot of people just don't know because you're not expected to know that. That's not your backyard. It's not your backyard, and it goes back for generations. So that's why it's equally as preposterous to expect one conflict and another $61 billion is going to solve it. It is not.